What's good, people? This is the Rap Roundtable. Your boy Jarvis, the City Rap Snob, Dini the Balance, the homie Mace. We just want to make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, help us get our numbers up. We're trying to get 2,000 subs, 5,000. Y'all know how this go. If y'all think we're good and y'all love the content, some of y'all always say, yo, how come y'all don't have more views? It's because y'all don't sub. So make sure y'all do that and tap in with us. Peace.
The Rap Roundtable.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Rap Roundtable is back as promised. We're going to talk about this new tape from the homie Ransom, No Rest for the Wicked. You know, we gave y'all the future, and I saw it in the comments, some of y'all was like, bro, that's cool. I know we don't come here for that. Can you talk about this Ransom project? And we aim to please. Sincere Rap Snob is with me because he said, I'm not talking about no motherfucking future. I only care about Ransom this weekend. Sincere, what's good?
I'm chilling, man. Enjoying my Saturday. You know what I mean? It was a little under the weather yesterday, but I'm back in full force. I'm here. You know what I mean?
You got on the top rope, clink two bears together like Stone Cold, got your powers back. We already know.
Yes, sir. It's a
let's get right into it.
65-degree day in New York gave me a little bit of powers back.
Yo, it was wild nice today, bro.
It's dumb nice outside, man. It's starting to feel like summer now.
Oh yeah. I even saw a couple of sundresses. I was like, okay, it's about that time.
Give a brother that energy, bro. For real.
Well, listen, bro. Tell me about this tape, man. No Rest for the Wicked. This is right up your alley. This is what you like. Descriptive, highly cinematic bar work, great production.
Let's take a step back real quick, because I like to do my whole build up,
of course,
to the moment. But I won't do too much of that. But I mean, going back 2 years, 2020, like that was the real, what I felt as the real resurgence of Ransom in the game.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He came back with a few, small projects here and there with the homie Nicholas Craven, producer Nicholas Craven, who I had been following on Instagram for a while. I saw him doing his thing. Then I saw him and Ransom link up for like a couple of projects, and you know what I mean, like they had a spark, they had some magic, and I heard like some fire under Ransom, and I was like, yo, I feel like Ransom's been going for a minute, but like he's really coming back with some heat, and then like slowly but surely the last couple of years he's just been building this resurgence into what it's culminated where it's culminated at now with No Rest for the Wicked, which I feel up to date since the last couple of years is his strongest project. I feel it's his most complete project, and we got to start putting Ransom in these conversations with like the Conways and the Bennies.
Absolutely.
And the you know what I mean? And the to a lesser extent, the Rome, because I hear, I be on Twitter and I hear the talk and the chatter and whatever. I hear a lot of Boldy James. I hear a lot of, a lot of Stove God Cooks, obviously Conway and Benny from the Griselda camp. Even West Side Gun, because, he puts the projects together. He might not be like the most elite lyricist, but you got the way he puts together projects.
He's a curator, boy.
Exactly, but we have to start putting. If you're not putting Ransom in those conversations, you played yourself, man. You're playing yourself,
and I remember, bro. I think I asked you even because I didn't. When Ransom made his resurgence, I think I hit you like, "This is Ransom in 18," because he just showed back up like there was no pomp, no circumstance. He just resurfaced,
right, bro. And it's like, what I mean, the bar work that he always exemplified. You add to that the life that he's lived, the experience, what I mean, the jewels that he could drop, the wisdom he could weave into his bars based on like everything he's been through. It's crazy. For me, as soon as I press play on the project, the first joint, No Hawk, I felt it was a dope intro. The Hawk, sorry, not No Hawk, The Hawk. I felt it was a dope intro. It was a dope lead into like what we could expect from the project. The production was on par. Nicholas Craven had a few joints on there. He did not disappoint. Him and Ransom have a crazy chemistry going right now. Some of my favorite joints, Overnight Success.
Yes.
You know, it really gets deep into how people view the game, and like, you know, especially with somebody like Ransom, because we just talked, or I just mentioned how it seems like he just popped up in 2020,
but he's been around.
He's got 20 years in the game, man, and a lot of people don't know that. If you ask like a random like 25-year-old on Twitter that's into the boom bap lo-fi, you know what I mean, like they're not gonna know how.
They don't know about the A-Team and the Clue tapes and being part of that big Desert Storm squad.
Bro, they wasn't outside.
It wasn't there.
Bro. They wasn't outside. So I'm glad that he made a joint like Overnight Success that really spoke on like how you know, this overnight success that he has is 20 years, you know, in the making. I like the joint Compromised a lot. That's just some dope bars over a dope sample flip from Nicholas Craven. I especially liked how Ransom was like, "Yo, Nick, where you get this sample from?"
Yeah,
he was like, "No sample snitching. Nah, we not doing that over here." Captions is another favorite of mine. Speaking on you know, the fakeness of social media. It's just, you know what I mean, he touched on a lot of topics. It's only been out for like, you know, 24 or I mean at this point less than 48 hours. I've spun it a couple of times. I still need to spin it a few more times to catch all the double entendre. That's another thing. This tape is so heavy on the double entendres, man. Like I catch them, but then like there'll be another one right after it. And you know what I mean, I really gotta, you know, go back and do my due diligence and catch all the doubles. But like one of my favorites on The Gambler, which is another favorite track of mine. He said he was speaking to a dude that he was involved with, you know what I mean, and some transgressions. And he was talking about how, you know, I was defending you when I grabbed the strap. Why'd you fold? Brother, I done told you so I couldn't back a rat. You know what I mean? The back a rat with the gambler. You know what I mean? That theme.
That's a bar.
That's a super bar right there, man. Back a rat, but back a rat. Like that's crazy to me, man. This tape is heavy to me, man. It's immediately off first rip. One of my favorite. It's immediately in my top 5 favorite projects of this year right now.
Listen. What I'll say off the rip is like, if you spoke about that double entendre just now and the amount of double and triple entendres that were on this project. If you are a bar fanatic, if you're in this because you love elite lyricism, then this is the album for you. This is the buffet this is a boom bap bar work buffet. Like it's so much of it. It's like this is an album where you gotta spin it over and over and over again to catch all the little nuggets that Ransom is delivering. For me, the thing that stood out to me was how beautifully produced this album is, front to back, beat for beat. Like we just finished talking about, you know, creative conflicts with the Pusha T album, but then you go 1 week later to this Ransom project, and it's like, yo, this is what we wanted from Pusha T. Like as far as how it feels. As much as you got your loose, you got your soul, but there's a certain connectivity from front to back, and these beats are so warm. He's talking about a lot of dark things, but there's a lot of warmth as far as the sonics go on this project. To me, like this is a beautiful succession from what Coup de Grace was. It's almost like he picked right up from where Coup de Grace was on the solo tip. I really love. Honestly, I don't even have to, because I know Ransom is nice. He's another one of those guys, you put the tape on, you know exactly what it's going to be. I could just listen to the beats even. That's how immaculate of a listen this project is. Like, I got to agree with you, Sen. Like, before I even get into the song-by-song breakdown, like of all the reactions we've done so far this year, this might be my favorite album right now. As completely satisfied with what I got. Now, this whole thing about underground and mainstream and whatever it is, to me, like the underground space is not the same how it used to be because of the internet. But there's another thing called notoriety and mass appeal. I don't know. I feel like I don't know what Ransom needs to do, but more people need to know who, the same way they know that Pusha T is a monster and they know what Benny and how Conway are coming. To me, Ransom needs to find a way to ascend to that conversation. I don't know what needs to happen musically or who needs to get next to him in the game. Does he need a Rock Nation plug? Like, you see how Griselda got next to Rock Nation and then their Q rating on the internet went up because you get those placements. People are going to get mad and think I'm talking about Jay-Z. It's not about Jay. It's about getting next to people who can put you in certain spaces to raise your notoriety. And I feel like someone needs to get next to Ransom to raise that notoriety because he's too good for this to be like some kind of a speakeasy. I want Ransom to be known. You know what I mean? Because when you think about you start off with The Hawk. Amazing.
Yeah.
But then you get to Rituals with 38 Special. Another guy, between what he did on the Benny Project, what he did here, what he's done on his own as a solo act, 38 Special is another person who needs to be in more conversations about this space when it comes to rap music. That guy's amazing. The chemistry with Ransom, hands down, fire. I don't even like the game, but circumstances, fire. It's almost like we talk about it a lot. I remember when we went, and I'm gonna flex a little bit, when we went to the listening party for Rome Streets and Ransom for Coup de Grace, and we asked about competition. And while Rome said it's not competition, but at the same time, I was like, I'm not gonna let you drown me under bars. Right. I feel like that's the same kind of dynamic you see with Game and Ransom. Neither of these guys are not trying to get buried under bars. So there's even if it's not competition, they're raising their game and make sure that the next man doesn't outdo them. And as much as I don't really care for the game's music, it's a preference, not a disrespect to the game. He showed up here and I appreciated his verse. He didn't sound out of place at all.
Right.
But for me, the album let me know where I was at when we go from overnight success, compromise, making it, redemption. That pocket right there.
That whole stretch.
Oh my God! Like, and as much as I love Compromise, when Making It came on right after that, I'm like, oh, and it's like,
you know what? Like, I sometimes I feel like I say the same things, a lot, and sometimes I feel like am I like on autopilot because like I almost felt like after track 7 it dipped a little bit, but
the dip wasn't as loud here.
It wasn't that loud, but it did. I felt like it dipped a little bit. But then when the Gambler came back on because of the way the theme just carried out, and again, like going back to that bar that I like the Baccarat bar, like as soon as I heard that, I was like, yo, Rand is on a different planet right now, man. For him to pull out, like, how does he make a double entendre about a gambling game, Baccarat, that's like obscure in and of itself, and like then talk about backing or rap, like it.
My question is, how is he able to continuously repeat this performance? You know, where's the fall off? You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I don't know. And I was just like, because I ran into my boy on the way over here. We kind of chopped it up a little bit. He had listened to the Ram project too. And he, like, we were talking about how, like, because like it obviously this goes without saying, Rand has not been no type of slouch up to this point, but with this project there was something about this project. I mean, the production, sure, the mixing also, shout out to Parks because he mixed Coup de Grace, and he's mixed this joint too.
He knows exactly how to make Rand sound amazing. A1 job. But there's something about how Ransom attacked this project that was a little extra. Like, he went up a level, and like it's one of those things where you feel like, he's mad nice. The bar work is there, the double entendres, the pocket, the wordplay is there, everything is there. But there's just when you hear somebody flip a switch, like, nah, I could take it a level up. Even if niggas ain't thinking that I could take it a level up, I'm gonna take it this level up. He sounded sharper. He was hitting the pockets harder. The double entendre work just like up a level too. I was like so incredibly impressed with this project, man. I really was. To what you were saying about after track 7, I think the only gripe I have with it is like, it seems like he saved the majority of his features for the back end of the project, whereas we got so accustomed to just hearing so much Rand. Like, don't get me wrong, the features were solid, but it's like, at this point, I kind of wanted Rand with the full ISO, because it's like he kept delivering track after track after track, that when the features came through towards the end, it's like, I kind of don't want it, But again, it's like, this is a nitpick. Like, listeners, be clear. Like, we're not saying these songs are bad. But at the same time, we have to critique it. We just can't come on here and dick ride for 20 minutes. We got to tell how we actually feel about these projects. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, the features were there, and it was like they were good. But it's like when you have a guy who's all world, like, unless you have another all world person next to him, it's going to be a clear drop off as far as skill and talent level. And where Ransom is right now as an artist, as a lyricist, like, I know we've been saying on the pod that, like, Conway might be the best pure rapper right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I was being disrespectful saying that with Ransom right there. Like, at this point,
there.
I can't pick, son. I don't know who's better.
Listen, this project is him putting the flagpole on the top of that mountain that he's been climbing for the last couple years.
Yeah.
It really is. He's like, yo, if y'all wasn't paying attention to me up to this point, y'all got to start paying attention. Like
I would say right now, off a couple of listens, if I had to think about who made the better project between No Rest for the Wicked and God Don't Make Mistakes, I'm giving it to Rand. That's not to say that Conway is not super good or super elite or the best in the world at rapping, but just track for track after a moment, because we know these guys are so prolific with their releases. There'll be more work later this year, but right now I got to give it to Rand.
And we got to talk about Ransom's ear for beats.
Yes,
he has an elite ear for beats, man. He's been picking elite production. Like, he knows, he has a keen pinpoint accuracy for what he sounds good over, and where he could drop, like, what type of beats he could drop the most jewels on.
And it's like, you know, like we talked about it with Rim, who's coming up pretty soon, about boom nap as opposed to boom bap. When Rand picks these beats, it is the antithesis of boom nap. Like, I don't. The thing is, again, like, we know what the genre is. We know about the loops, the samples, whatever the case may be. Like, first of all, these weren't even lazy loops where it was one thing just looping over and over again. These beats were very dexterous. There was a lot of dexterity in these beats, a lot of versatility in these beats. It's like to be able to consistently pick something that speaks to you on a high level, and some of it is generation. You got to think about it. He's around our age, so he was listening to what producers in the early 2000s, late 90s are doing with these soul samples, and I feel like he tries to reach for that energy with each beat that he selects. Like, going back to Coup de Grace again, like, and then I hear this project, it makes me feel like, I think as we wondered about it, who was picking the beats for Coup de Grace, like, I'm gonna go ahead and say that Ransom picked majority of those beats just based on the way they sound. Like, Ransom just knows who sounds good and where. But I do have a critique, Sim. I gotta speak my truth.
Let's talk about it.
If there was one thing I feel musically that Ransom needs to improve on, has nothing to do with lyricism. He got that. Flow, wordplay, got all of that. Beat selection, he got that. I feel like he needs to still work on his hook game. There's a lot of times where there's no real difference between the bars and the hooks. And I feel like sometimes it's like, it's cool, or he just will just not, there'll be no hook at all. He'll rap over the beat, let the sample breathe, and then come back in. I'd like for him to improve upon his choruses. I feel like that could be that next level up for him as far as notoriety, to get his hook game up a little bit.
I don't know. I'd have to push back on that. Because, it might be stemming from, like, this generation of this lane of hip hop that is so anti-hook, that when I do hear a hook, I'm like, oh, they took the time out to construct a hook that is well thought out, and well placed in the song. I like the hooks. The thing I would say is, I can kind of see what you're saying, where, like, the hooks kind of blend into the bars. That might just be a production thing. Maybe they're not doubling up his vocals. Maybe make the hooks a little more melodic. I mean, I don't know.
A little difference between, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like he comes from the era where hooks weren't important. You know what I mean? And I don't mean it didn't have to be, an R&B chick singing on the hook or whatever.
Right, no.
It didn't have to be like, the 50 Cent level, but like, hooks were an important thing. So I appreciate the fact that he takes the time to construct hooks for his songs. I could see how maybe they might need a little bit of extra layers on it.
A little more pizzazz on the choruses, because I
little
think
extra layer.
Yeah, because it's like when I listen to the album, it's like, and even its older stuff, it's like, to me, like, it's not like I'm not paying attention for a split second. I might not even know that's the hook until I hear it again on the second play. So it's like, all right, cool. And it's like, I'm looking at the space and I see some of his contemporaries as they are leveling up. They're getting there, like you see the Bennys and the Conways of the world. Their chorus games are more and more improving. They're adding a little more element to their game. It's like basically you have a basketball player, because we love sports, and it's like, you know what? He's a high flyer, but at some point you need a little jump shot. So you get in the post like Jordan. Jordan was a slasher, and eventually he added the fadeaway to the repertoire, the post game to the little up and under. Like, Ran got all of that, but Ran could use a little over the left shoulder fadeaway or a little pump fake jab step. You know what I mean? Just a little nugget to make him even better.
But listen, I think he's developing all of that, because like I can't off the top of my head, again, it's like, you know, it just came out, so I can't remember exactly what song it was on, but I know that he spoke on people talking about how he was just making songs that were just verses with like no hooks, and it was just like one continuous verse beginning to end, no break, no hooks, and nothing like that. So, you know, that being the case, I think this is with this project,
this was a step in that direction.
Yeah, this was definitely a stepping stone in that direction. And I think he's good at constructing hooks. It's just, I think, and again, I think it's production wise, you know what I mean? There's no, like, if he would pad the hook a little bit with like doubled vocals or extra vocals, just to like sonically differentiate the hook,
stand out a little bit.
I think that would go a long way.
All right, listeners, you know, y'all tapping in right now. Hit us in the chat, hit us in the comments. Let us know what you think. Does Ransom need to work on hooks a little bit more, or is y'all bugging? I know y'all can probably say I'm bugging, but answer anyway. Let me know. Throw it in the comments. What I'll also say is, I like it. It wasn't a concept album, but the content, there was a lot of connective tissue as far as what he was talking about. And it seems like a lot of what he was talking about on this tape had to do with vultures or people who weren't the most trustworthy, talking about, you know, you might be my brother, but we're not of the same kin, or things of that nature. And I like the fact that he kept the subject matter real tight. He wasn't all over the place of what he was talking about. Right.
Listen, I mean, it seems to me that Rand has some trust issues. That's a common theme throughout his bars and all his music. You know what I mean? But the thing I feel about this project is that he delved into it. He stretched it out a little more, instead of like dropping those themes or those types of bars like sporadically. Like, he stretched it out to where like you got a closer glimpse as to why he might have those types of trust issues. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I appreciate that. Also, going back to what you were saying about him being like more prominent in the game, right? Finding a way to be more prominent. Like, I would love that, and I feel like he deserves it. But seeing, like, just feeling from the type of person that I feel he is, from his music, and also from the interview that we did for the coup de grace release, I don't think he craves that. I don't think he's
very comfortable in his own skin where he's at.
Yes, and I think that he has such ill feelings towards the industry that he's just like, yeah, I'm not trying to fuck with none of that. You know what I mean? So if he can find a way to do it without, you know, compromising himself, that'd be amazing. But I don't feel like he should compromise himself and his ethics and his morals.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. For me, if it means doing that, then stay in the lane that you at. But I just feel like as we see more and more guys who are getting that love because of their skill at rapping, I feel like if anyone deserves to be in those conversations right now, Ransom needs to be right there. Like at this point, if you're making lists and he's not top 5, top 3 on your list, there's a problem.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? But I feel like we can wrap this up here. We both love the album. We love where Ransom is going. You know, I don't think we need to rate it. The album is fire, right?
Album is fire. I mean, it's too early anyway. You know what I mean? We can't rate an album like.
I think this might be on the list at the end of the year for albums of the year, though.
For sure. For sure. I feel that for sure. It's already like immediately top 5, probably top 3.
Easily. The best album that's come out in the past couple of weeks. No shade. You know what
Let's talk about it.
Well, once again, episode 44 is out now. We got the Future reaction is out now. We got Benny versus Pusha T as far as who made the better coke rap album is out now. And episode 45 is coming real soon. And by the way, New York Bias 2 is on the way. It's your
Absolutely.
boy Jaw. Sincere.
There's gonna be commenters out there mad that we're not talking about no Southern rappers right now. That we're not talking about like ESCG or whoever the fuck. Like
we talked about Future. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And we talking about ESTG on the Future reaction. We love not all. Sin don't love everything, but I love everything. You know what I mean? Kendrick is from California. We're gonna be talking about him soon. He's not from New York. I don't understand. J. Cole's from North Carolina. First of all, Benny and them not even from New York City. They're from New York State. It's not the same thing. Talk about
everybody from all over the map.
Pusha T's from Virginia. What are we talking about?
Y'all gotta relax.
Rick Ross is from Florida. When he drops, we're gonna talk about it. Like I can keep going.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we about to break out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. And again, 45 is on the way. Don't miss that.
Yes, sir.
Great interview, great energy.
Yes.
We're gonna keep this momentum rolling. We can't do that without y'all. Peace.